Well, here's a pretty neat little thing I picked up on eBay here recently. It's a homemade electric powered operational model of a shovel front excavator. And it's put together okay, but a little crude, but it has a lot of good ideas in it. And it's driven by this little electric motor in here behind this big gear, and has a little gear reduction drive there, and then it comes into this chain drive right here, and that drives the main shaft with the crowd clutches on it and the hoist clutch and brake, which these are all operated by these clothespins, which I think is ingenious. There's a clutch right on the end of the shaft right there, and when you can see how it pushes that into that pulley there that has like leather wrapped around it. So when you squeeze the clothespin, it engages that clutch, which drives this chain right here. And that's one of the crowd clutches. And this is the same thing on this end, same deal. It pushes that over into the friction material and engages the clutch for the crowd. And one just runs the stick in and out through this chain, and then there's a rack gear in here. I think you can see it right there. And it runs the stick in and out, which is called the crowd. And then in the center here, we have the hoist and the hoist brake and clutch. And the clutch is right here, so when you squeeze the clothespin, it pushes the whole hoist drum right over into this friction material here and drives the hoist. And then when you're done hoisting, you just let go of the clothespin and it pinches this little flange right here, and that's the brake. So right now, if I were to open that clothespin, you'll see the hoist drum on there, see? Pretty clever. And it's just built on a piece of wood. It has a undercarriage from a toy steam shovel, maybe a Structo or something like that. And it had some old wiring on it, but I've bypassed all that just to get this motor going. And the motor was a head scratcher for a while because I could get it to run on about 11 or 12 volts, but it ran terrible and had no power, and it was almost like it was fighting itself, because it would turn and then it felt like it had brakes on. And I finally figured out that the commutator was out of time, and I shifted the commutator a little bit, and now I can just touch the lead to a 6-volt battery and it takes right off. So it's running pretty good right now. And as far as the crowd drive goes, you see it has two separate drives because it needs to run forward and reverse. So you get your forward and reverse through this little set of gears right here. And then of course the chain drive up the boom to the crowd pinion. And then there's a bucket latch right here that opens the bucket when it's up in the air. This comes up, and then the back end of the bucket will open up and let the dirt fall out. And the bucket is a little crude, but looks like a bucket. Just a really neat piece of homebrew engineering. Probably some old timer that ran one of these back in the day and just built it from memory. So I'll try to run it here and show you how it works. brake is the hardest part to operate on it. You just barely touch it and it goes into full release. So you saw how I dropped the bucket on the table there once. But I think as I run it some more, I think the brake surface will polish up, and I think it'll be a little smoother after I run it for a while. Plus I'll get better at running it. It's a little hard to operate those clothespins like that, and I'm probably going to make some modifications to make it a little bit easier to operate too. But hopefully in the future maybe I'll set it up with some sand or try to run it in some sawdust or something so it can actually dig some material. But I am completely thrilled with this piece. I think it's a great piece of folk art, or whatever you want to call it. Somebody put their heart and soul into this thing, building it, and I'm proud to own it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.